Live again. Let's see if anybody can hear us.
Let's try this again, folks. Welcome to 2024. We certainly hope this year will be better than last, in our personal lives at least. Please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She can hear us.
All right. Everybody can hear us again.
We hope everyone enjoyed their holiday season. I know I did.
Yeah, it was
Got to see
nice.
family. Got to see friends.
Yep, it was awesome.
You know,
I got all my kids down here except my daughter.
my son couldn't come down. He had to work.
Yeah,
My
my
mom came
daughter
up from
too.
Florida. We had a good time with the kids.
That's nice your mom coming up.
So if you make those New Year's resolutions, don't give up on them. You still got time. Work hard to reach your goals.
What if you messed up already and 2025 is your year?
Well, 2024 is going to be our year. You know, I'm Dennis. He's Jack. Junior's on the side over there. He finally figured out the...
Yeah, because you got better internet.
That's right. Finally figured out the audio. It's all right. Do it again. That's why we're here. Make mistakes. Learn from them.
Here's our problem. We never learn.
That's right. Security guards.
Yeah, boy, are we backpedaling?
We are the United States Constitutional Group, right here on Facebook, and also check out the Hawk Podcast on your favorite podcast channel. We're on Apple, we're on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart. We're there. We gotta be hawks in a country full of political asses and elephants. I hope you know who I'm talking about. So Jack and I have some big dreams and goals that we want to accomplish in 2024. The first is selling our book we both worked hard on and is available for purchase. It's only $17. Politicians Gaslighting Americans. You can check it out. www.politiciansgaslightingamericans.com.
Yep.
Hopefully Junior will put that on Facebook for us.
I'm getting it.
He's getting there.
Shush.
Good job, Jack.
Another goal is forming a coalition. A minor coalition, waking people up about the decline of America, all thanks to our politicians. And a huge goal for Jack this year is running for House District 106 right here in South Carolina. That election's coming up in November. I mean, you think you have a ton of time, but trust me, it goes by way too quick. Election will be here before you know it. I ran a campaign before. I ran for office. Flies by.
I didn't get that. The internet isn't reachable.
Wow. I got Alexa talking to us.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I wonder if everybody can hear us in Alexa.
Yeah.
So you can always be part of our show. Hit us up on Facebook comments and tell us how you feel about these lame duck politicians. If you want to talk to us on the phone, send us your phone number or ask for our phone number online, and we'll send it to you. And then you can call in. So before I get carried away with everything I want to talk about, let's go to Jack and see what topic he has for us today.
All right, so let's ask the question, who's the government working for?
Themselves.
Yeah, right. So the stock market boomed this year. But the problem is I don't think most Americans could afford to invest in the stock market this year.
Most Americans couldn't afford to pay for their groceries.
Well, listen.
But they say Bidenomics is working.
Yeah, well, your salary had fallen $4,500 in value this year. And the cost of living had gone up almost 8%.
Yep.
So you lost $4,500 and the cost of living went up. Last year, Trump's administration, salaries were up $6,500. And the cost of living was down. And it's funny because when they talk about the cost of living, they don't add heating cost, fuel cost, or electric. Or food. Which is, fuel is 30% up. Groceries are up 20%. Electric is up 20%. Around there. So, the stock market, the S&P 500, I got this from Jesse Waters, so if you heard this, this is from him. So the S&P was up 25% So imagine you put your money in your bank and it went up 25% for you. That's the same thing for that. All right? So, how did the politicians do?
Probably did damn well.
So they made out. I'm going to give you New York politician, Democrat Brian Higgins. His portfolio went up the most in Washington, D.C. His portfolio, his investments went up 238.9% in 2023.
Wow.
And he's retiring in February. Gee, I wonder why. He doesn't want those skeletons to come out in his next election. We have a Republican from Tennessee, Mark Green. His stocks went up 122.2%. All right. Connecticut, Democrat,
Corrupt.
Dick Blumenthal. Dick Blumenthal. His went up 68.1%. California Democrat Nancy Pelosi's. Hers went up 65.5%. Now remember, the S&P went up 25%. So they're out marketing her. Democrat, I forget what state. I think it's Illinois. I'm not sure. I don't want to say. Dan Goldman. He was the representative that was on TV when Hunter Biden's partner came in and testified in front of them. His was up 52.8%. So you got to be pretty smart to have your stocks go up 52.8% in 1 year. Yet he also thinks that Joe Biden, President Biden, was only talking about the weather. You know, and he went on TV and actually, all they talked about was the weather. This is my biggest disappointment. This guy, Texas, you got to get rid of him. I am so
Ted
disappointed. Nope. Texas Republican Dan Crenshaw. His went up 38.2%. This guy has turned his back on his own military folk. All right? I don't like him anymore. So the numbers by the parties. Democrats, the entire party, their stocks went up 31.18% for the year. You put all the Democrats together that invested, that's what it was. The S&P went up 24.81%, 25%. The Republican Party, if you put theirs all together, went up 17.99, 18% it went up. So, politicians, in their financial exchanges in 2023, guess how much they profited? You put them all together.
$250 million.
They made over $1 billion.
Damn.
So, folks, your politicians that are supposed to be working for you
Really care about you.
made, as a group of, what are they,
Tyrants.
450?
Tyrants.
Made $1 billion in profits last year for themselves. So who's working for who? And they don't want us to think that there was any insider trading going on.
There's none.
And that, my friends, is why they refuse to pass an insider trading law against themselves. $1 billion. These people, I bet you, the number for Midtown Manhattan, the precinct Midtown Manhattan, I bet you that precinct has just under the same amount of cops in that precinct assigned to them that all the politicians in Washington, D.C. put together. So put it into, there's a precinct in New York City that has almost the same amount of people assigned to that precinct, the police precinct, working in Washington, D.C., that's supposed to be working for us. They profited over $1 billion in an economy that is sucking the life out of the average American person.
Hey, we're trying to wake people up here. It takes time. It takes people, or some people brainwash, other people it takes time for them to wake up. I think people are starting to wake up, and they're starting to get annoyed with this. The problem is, people want to go their own way. You know, this group wants to do this. This group wants to do that. This group wants to do that. And I'll talk about that in a little while. But unless we find a way, they're always going to get away with this. They're always going to do insider trading. They're always going to put the American people last. Look what they do to these. Look at the immigration problem at the border. These people are sleeping in freaking 3-4-star hotels
5-star.
while your veterans and your homeless that are American citizens get shafted by this government. And yet people don't want to wake the F up.
Hey, listen. You have these immigrants, illegal immigrants, coming into this country. Medical's paid, cell phones paid, food's paid. They're staying in 5-star hotels. The amount of food they're throwing out fills a dumpster from a 5-star restaurant. And now you, as a regular person, try and go see your doctor.
Oh no.
It's months and months and months. These people, instantaneously,
You know,
they got it.
you know, Pat, you're right. Pelosi is the leader of insider trading. You know,
I don't know. I think this other guy,
and we're worried about.
this guy, Mark Green. No, not my, Brian Higgins, 238.9%.
Yeah, but Nancy Pelosi started the insider trading years ago.
Yeah.
You know, you're right. People worry every week about food. Not only food, but gas. How are they going to get to work? How are they going to, send their kids to school with clothes on their backs? This is what our government's doing to us, and people don't care.
The government that works for you.
They're supposed to work for you,
Yeah, well.
but they don't care, Pat. And it's hard. How do we wake up people about that? How do we go about waking people up, Pat? So every day I hear more and more talk about World War III.
Yeah, that's a scary thought. too.
Venezuela wants to invade Guyana for their rich fields in a little place called Essequibo, about 67,000 acres. Now, Guyana is a Commonwealth of the United Kingdom. So, of course, the UK has sent a warship to protect Guyana.
Who else has war materials in Venezuela?
China
Yeah.
and Russia.
China and Russia they've been doing military drills with them.
Tensions are high with those countries. And Venezuela's going to invade. They activated 5,600 troops. They're on the border right now waiting to go in. Then we still have the Israel-Hamas war. When's that going to end? No end in sight. The Houthi rebels from Syria, they've been attacking U.S. troops and our warships for over 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Not only that, though, since this attack from the Palestine, from Hamas, there has been over 100 attacks on military bases.
Yep,
Nothing.
in the Middle East.
No response back.
North Korea, they're getting ready for war against South Korea and us.
And
They
what's
said
China
their
doing?
reunification with South Korea is dead, they said.
And I tell you, yeah, that's right, they did.
They want to see all South Korea gone. You have the Russia-Ukraine war still going on.
You got
Heaven knows when that'll end.
China is gearing up to go into Taiwan.
That's my next.
Oh, sorry.
Putin threatens to obliterate NATO countries with nuclear weapons. He said this recently. You have Iran threatening the U.S. for fighting back against the Houthis. And they're blaming us for their terror attack that happened a few days ago. For the Soleimani tribute they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
But they're blaming the United States. Was it us? I don't know. Then you have China wanting to control Taiwan and say nothing will stop them from doing that. Countries want a shift in power, and they want the United States out of the world affairs. This new world order that we've been hearing for years,
Decades.
they want to limit the population. Everyone is controlled by one central government.
You talk about that. countries want a shift of power and they want the United States out of the world affairs. Unfortunately, we have elected officials that want the same thing. Hence the border, hence the high interest rates, hence the inflation, hence the poor education system. They want the same thing as these foreign entities want.
Right.
Why do you think that? Do you think because they're getting campaign contributions from foreign entities?
It's crazy what James saying there.
Politicians always going to make millions. They've been for a long time. I care about what they're doing for me. And right now, it's nothing other than high inflation.
That's including Republicans.
Yeah, well, I tell you, like I said, this guy, I was so sad when I saw his face come up. 38.2% Crenshaw. Shame on you, sir.
With this central government they want. Who knows what government is going to control the world? Who's eventually going to come on top? Will it be the United States? Will it be China? Will it be Russia? Will it be Iran? Will it be North Korea?
They all believe in China's government.
They do. Even our people do here now.
You know,
World War III is at our doorsteps. And what is the United States doing? Very little because of a weak Biden administration.
yeah, they're pouring fuel on the flame is what they're doing.
Do you know that he tried to hide the Chinese spy balloon incident
Yeah,
from the American people and Congress?
yeah.
What do you think about that people?
That's not in order for impeachment on that.
No.
Because that won't go through. And even that, all these impeachment hearings, without the Senate, there's no sense in wasting my tax dollar on it. But you don't think you hit a spy plane and he conducted its way through the entire country.
He was going to let them fly all over this country, letting the China government spy on us.
He did.
Pretty much.
I was playing golf that day when he blew it out of the sky with my old partner.
He is enabling our enemies to gain vast knowledge on all Americans, and yet he's still the president.
He should be on trial for treason.
That was my next statement.
I'm
You're
sorry.
I must read minds. He should be put on trial for treason. But all these politicians are in cahoots together. Republicans, Democrats, Independents.
They all have the same skeletons.
Yep. Come on, folks. We need to start holding these politicians accountable for their actions. And their actions are terrible. Stop voting for these morons that we have in office. Stop it. They're done with them. Send a statement in 2024 and say no more. We want a new direction of strength and leadership because we have no strength or leadership right now. None of our politicians show a leadership trait.
Mm-mm.
Republicans are doing exactly what this idiot Schiff did with Trump.
Yes.
Said all this evidence exactly, as Comer and Jordan have said today about Biden. Where is it?
Still waiting.
For 2 years we've been waiting for this
We've
stuff.
been saying this for a long time. Comer, the more he speaks, the more he digs that hole.
They have nothing, folks. It's a charade that has most of the population brainwashed. Wake up.
Gaslighting.
Prove me you're not one of these people that are gaslighted. They will keep on playing these games until we stand up and throw them all the hell out. Vote different this year. They fear you into believing that America will die if we don't complete these investigations. It's all a scam.
Yep.
Newsflash, folks. America is on decline because of politicians, not because of anybody else. And because people, you, me, a lot of other people, won't stand up to all this freaking corruption that's going on. We're starting to. That's why we need help. Stop being one of those people who think it's easier to be controlled rather than fight for your constitutional rights. We fought a war for these rights. And ask yourself this question. When was the last time you read the Constitution?
It's in this book.
Oh, Mitch McConnell's useless. His wife, can't even read. Oh my God. We want to talk about Mitch McConnell for a second?
Mitch McConnell. I was shocked I didn't see his name on that list. You know why? Because he's got it all in his wife's name.
Yep. So I'm still waiting on anybody who read the Constitution recently. I mean, for some of you, probably never have.
It's in this book. Declaration of Independence and the Constitution.
Yep. This is how exactly politicians are getting the best of us. Simply called lack of knowledge. Stop being pushed around and start reading and gain some knowledge. A little bit of knowledge.
Can go a long way in this one.
You will be amazed at what you will find by reading 36 pages. You'll be surprised that not only our president is violating the Constitution, but also these tyrannical congressional tyrants who follow their commander-in-chief on both sides of the aisle.
This year, I'm going to go when it's my turn.
It's your turn now.
All right, so here's the Constitution. I got it. First thing I want to do is remind everybody what gaslighting is. Psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, the uncertainty of one's emotional or mental stability, and a dependency on the perpetrator. The act or practices of grossly misleading someone, especially for one's own advantage. One's own advantage. They just made $1 billion in trades. So, then it says read the Constitution. And I'll tell you what you will not find in this Constitution. Bureaucracy. All right? Bureaucracy was invented with German socialist theories of the late 1800s. And it came over to America, and when they started to try and get the progressive movements through, they were violent and riotous. So people backed away from it and stayed home. So Woodrow Wilson's the one that said there needs to be a bureaucracy, and it needs to be 3 things. Number 1, you have to be progressive in thought and belief. 2, you had to be an expert, not an expert in anything, just an expert. And 3, untouched by voting. You can't get changed. You can't get those people in and out through votes. The one that implemented it was FDR during the Depression, and then later to a massive amount during World War II. So here's our problem. This is what we were thinking. You know, we all know we got to get money out of politics. And, you know, people say it can never happen. Well, again, I can't explain how long I've been called naive. And every time somebody says we're naive, we accomplish something. So I'll be naive. And I believe we need to get money out of the politics. So we have a problem. We have the bureaucracies. And the problem with the bureaucracy today is that it has grown into such an animal. First off, it's bigger than our regular federal government now. There's more bureaucrats and appointed, like I said, they don't know how many bureaucracies in this country. There's 1,500 Senate-approved appointments, like the FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, the Secretary of State. 1,500 of them. The Senate has to approve and put in. Okay? The problem with the bureaucracies today is not only just the money they have, but they have all 3 branches of government wrapped up in their bureaucracies. So they make the laws for the legislators. They're the executives of those laws, and then they're the judicial watch. When they penalize you to enforce their laws that they put, you have to go argue the case in front of them. So it never comes back in your favor. So here's our question. And I had asked my dad this about a week ago. And it seemed like a difficult question at first. And I think my opinion, I'll give it to you. So we know we need to get money out of politics. So do we remove the money out of the bureaucracies first or the politicians first?
That's a tough question. I'm going to say take it from the politicians first. I'm not even saying take it from... You know what? I say you replace all the politicians and start anew.
Wow. I mean, that's a revolution that would be hard to go through. But I tell you, so what our plan is, that's why I'm running. That's why we're running for this legislative spot. Me and Dennis do everything together. the titles don't really matter to anything. It's a joint effort. Because I believe the politician too. And I was going back and forth, and I was saying, if you remove the money out of the politicians, is that going to make the bureaucracy so strong that they'll take over the government? If you leave the money into politics, are they going to make so much money, like $1 billion in 1 year, and not see a need to remove the bureaucracies? But I think it has to be the politician because they get elected. And if you get a politician that ain't making as much money as the bureaucracies, they're going to get rid of them. So how do you do that? Well, you run for state office. And you get enough folks thinking like you in state office, and you start changing state laws. So you tell your federal representative and your United States senator, we have bylaws and a constitution of the state that says you are not allowed to collect money outside of the district if you're running for a U.S. representative spot. You are only allowed to collect money from within your district because we only want you listening to the people in your district. If you're running for U.S. Senate, you can only collect money and fundraising from people that live in the state you're running for. This is how you start getting money out of politics, by state, and you go from ladder, the first rung, to the second rung, to the third rung, all the way up into the federal government. Your school districts, your neighborhoods, your mayors, all of these people, they're only allowed to get money from the people that they're representing. Same goes for the government, the federal government. If you're not doing it, so now when you get into office, now you can start getting rid of those bureaucracies. There's so many bureaucracies that they don't even. How do you run a country and not know how many bureaucracies are running through here?
True.
And these people get paid pensions and health care for the rest of their life. Social Security afterwards, the whole gig. And if you think you have a problem with these bureaucracies, let me know how you make out at Social Security when it's time for you to retire. You know,
when you got a little paycheck and there is like $50,000 a month.
Not only that, though, you know, just go to a motor vehicle. How many people love a trip to a motor vehicle?
Hate it.
Right? I mean, it's incredible. We doing this, running for a small District 106 state level. I had to go to 3 different buildings to get the paperwork I needed to start operating this.
They don't make it easy for you.
No. 3 different buildings I had to go to. Bing, 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 bing. I was all over the place. I went through a tank of gas. You know, so learn the Constitution. And when you start reading this Constitution, you're going to see how far off everybody is. It's 36 pages long, and that counts. That counts the Bill of Rights and the amendments.
Yeah, it's not long at all.
No.
That's knowledge.
I mean, read through it. It's written in Old English. So you read through it, you're going to have to read through it again. And as you start realizing it, I mean, just the beginning part of it, I mean, it's unbelievable. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, which means your kids, do ordain, which means they have made this, and establish, meaning they still had work to do because they had to do the Bill of Rights, this Constitution for the United States of America. That's the first paragraph. If that's not poetry, and if that doesn't make your heart thump a little bit, that these people figured this out 200 years ago, over 200 years ago, well, then, I don't know. Maybe there's
what's wrong with it now?
But
So since August, I didn't talk about immigration. I wanted to stay away from it. Since August, every month, a minimum of 250,000 illegal immigrants have crossed the border.
jeez.
Biden is doing nothing. Democrats are doing nothing. Republicans are doing nothing. And you know what, folks? Biden went to the Supreme Court to have Texas take down the fence or the razor wire.
Yeah. How about this one? Arizona governor is now complaining about it, but her first day in office, they had put shipping containers. The former governor was a Republican, and he ran out of time because of term limits. So he had put his own wall up of shipping containers. Her first day, she took them down. And now she's complaining. You take them down and now you're complaining? I have no empathy for you,
These
lady.
politicians are ruining our America. Wake up. You know what we really need in this country right now is a movement. I see this No Labels Party. They've been gaining some steam.
They're no good.
But is it really a No Labels Party, if you think about it? See, No Labels to me is no political party affiliation. You're an independent person. But the people who want to run on the No Labels Party are members of the Democrat and Republican parties.
Yeah.
The people running this group have been associated with politics for years.
And some of the biggest problems of this country.
You know, Joe Lieberman, he's one of them. You know, how is that called a no labels party? It's just a bunch of disgruntled people within their own party saying, we can do better. If you want to do better, be an independent. You know what? You've been in office too long, get out.
There you go.
But they want you to believe there are no labels. It's false advertising. Third-party candidates and minor party candidates have a hard time getting elected.
They have a hard time getting on a ballot.
Just the nature of the beast, the way things are set up. So what I think we need is a people's coalition. Stay away from the party moniker. A United States Patriots Party, not party. United States Fed Up Patriots or something. To stay away from the party, you know. If you want to be a diehard Republican, you want to be a diehard Democrat, you know what? You'll always be diehard. You want to be far left or far right, that's your right. You know? But there are millions of people in this country that are down the middle of the aisle and frustrated to no end with politicians in the way this country is heading. This is our chance to join together and have one united voice against these do-nothing elected tyrants. We can stop the madness. We can stop the corruption. And we can stop the insanity and save this country now, before we reach the final stage of government control.
It's close.
Think about it, everyone. We can make a difference. We need a movement.
You want to know what the first act Hitler did? Hitler was elected as the chancellor, but not the president of Germany. Von something was. And he appointed Hitler as his chancellor, second in command, so to speak. He was an old guy, and he died. So Hitler being second in command, you know what he did? He wrote a law that allowed him to suspend the Constitution of Germany. As soon as he suspended the Constitution of Germany, he was allowed to take the reins and implement the government that he put in there. If you want to be involved, and I don't care what party you're in, mandate that what we're developing is called the Independent Constitutional Party. And for the people that don't know why we called it that, it has to do with the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Because those are the two founding documents of this government. Without those two documents, this government doesn't last. This country would have been gone a long time ago. This is the critical state to get back to these framers. These people were geniuses. They had seen every problem that there was. And they put it into this book. And if you want to solve your problems, if you want to follow your disenfranchisement of the people that are running this country for you, read this book. It's in our book. Read our book. In the back of it is both of those documents.
You know, we can and we must do better. We need to stand together and stop this division in America that they put right through us every single day.
They do it.
These politicians are the problem with race.
They invented race.
These politicians want you to be dumb.
Yes.
These politicians want total control over you, me, and everyone in this country. They do that by pissing people off with illegal immigration, with all these bureaucracies that no one knows about, and talking about war all the time. They keep you confused. Stop. Stop listening to the news. Stop listening to politicians. They are no good. They are bad for America. They are bad for we the people.
The politicians that are there. The system is good. This is the system. We need to get back to this before the bureaucracy crushes this like a tin can.
You know, we'll talk about this later. But I'm thinking about, instead of a party, maybe an independent constitutional patriots coalition. Get away from the party moniker. We'll talk about that later, though.
That's a mouthful.
It is. It is. So we're about ready to end up this show for tonight. Junior, you got anything you want to say?
No.
Fine.
Be that way.
Be that way.
Like and share.
Yeah, everybody please like and share. Share with your friends and family.
Buy the book.
Buy the book, definitely.
And Jack's got a polar plunge coming up soon. So if
Yeah.
anybody's looking for
Not this Jack. This maniac.
Me.
Junior.
He's out of his mind.
So if anybody wants to donate, how do we do that?
Is that okay? I put it on the Facebook page?
Yep.
Alright. Everybody will be on the Facebook page. If you want to donate, write it on the Facebook page. It was on my page or on my mom's page, Missy. And you just donate.
Well, what's,
Well, write
what is it?
Write it on there. Put it on the Facebook page right now.
I put it on there.
Well, write it in his comments right here, and then
I
put
am.
it on
I'm
the
gonna do it right
Facebook
now.
over there before.
I'm going to do it.
All right, good man. So if you got an extra couple dollars, he does this every year. He's the crazy one in the family.
And
He's
it's,
a
for,
maniac.
it's a good cause.
It is a good cause, but he's still a crazy one in the family.
That's true.
Out of his mind.
Jack, anything left?
Yes.
In
During Jack's polar plunge, I will be the one way back, standing in the sun, hopefully without a coat on. But
What if it's a
you-
75-degree day? Will you jump in the water?
Absolutely not.
He's the titty mouse.
I will sit there with the towel, into ready,
You getting ready to hold it for him?
and I will be laughing, enjoying the sight, because they all put the same face on. You know that emoji that's on you they're all, like that they all do that. They forget every year how cold that water is. I remember because I don't go through the shock of it.
I'll put it on both pages. I'll put it on United States
Put
Constitution.
him on them all.
Alright.
You know,
Yeah, no, I won't be in the water. You want to go in the water?
No.
Let's see.
I don't go in the water when it's 90.
Oh, I'll go in the water when it's 90. Swimming with the sharks.
Oh, yeah. So taking back the reins from Congress will be a very hard job.
Mm-hmm.
But we can be achieved by a united nation of we the people. We all must stand for something or not fall for anything. Don't fall for anything, folks. Don't be a follower. Don't be a brainwashed
Can I say one more
person.
thing?
Hold on, go ahead, Jack.
I just want to tell everybody, it's on the page right now. It's on the Facebook page, United States Constitution Group and Independent Constitution Party.
Alrighty.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks.
You know, we can and will be that voice for the silent people who believe in a Patriots coalition of making America better than ever. Get your read on, folks. Read the Constitution and check out our new book called Politicians Gaslighting Americans.
Yep.
And it's a website, www. Hold on, let me put my glasses on.
PoliticiansGaslightingAmericans.com.
It's a beautiful 3 pages long. And it's also on our other
It's on our Fed Up with Politics website, too.
FedUpWithPolitics.com website. You can get that there and this show.
You get it off Facebook, my mom, me. It's all over.
I heard it's on my Facebook, but I'm not really sure. I haven't
It
checked.
is. We tag all over you guys.
You know, the more we know, the less politicians get away with, because Knowledge is power, folks.
Yes, it is.
Everyone have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next Thursday. Have a good weekend.
Good show. Happy New Year.